Hey there, beautiful people. Hello and welcome to another Printify webinar designed specifically for you so you can add to your success as an e-commerce professional. Our topic for today is how to supercharge your sales by writing effective copy, focusing specifically on your product titles, your product descriptions, and your About Us page. After all, this is a partnership, and we here at Printify want to make sure you have all the tools you need to succeed. That's why we'll be presenting you webinars like this one, sharing strategies to increase sales that are 100% free and effective. Writing good copy is free, and after this webinar, you'll have the knowledge to get everything out of your copy. We'll be live in just a moment, but please let me take this time to remind you that our moderators, Kristaps and Sarang, are standing by to answer all of your questions, so just drop them into the chat as they come up. And please stick around to the end because we'll have a trivia question. And the first 3 correct answers in chat will win a $50 Printify sales credit. Okay, if you're ready, let's begin. All right, welcome. We are live. Thank you so much for joining us for another Printify webinar. I'm your host, Martin. Today we'll be covering the topic of writing effective copy to supercharge your sales. And I know what you're thinking. This is not the flashiest of subjects that we've had, but I can guarantee you that this is super important. And why is it important? Because e-commerce by its very nature is an impersonal business. You don't get to meet your customer face to face. The only interaction they have with your store is the images and the text that you put out there. So, in order to optimize your results, I will be taking you through the basics of why that's important, some tips on how to improve that, and by the end of this webinar, you'll have everything you need to write effective copy and maximize your sales potential. Now, before we get started, I just want to let you know that if you have any questions, our moderators, Kristaps and Sarang, will be answering questions as we go through the webinar. Post those into the chat as we go through. And if you would like to revisit this webinar, because we will have a lot of content, please feel free to do so at printify.com/webinars and eventually on our YouTube channel where this webinar will eventually make its way. And also at the end of this presentation, we'll be giving you all of the slides that we covered in today's presentation as a downloadable PDF, so stay tuned for that. And also at the end of today's presentation, we will have a trivia question based on the content that we covered in today's webinar. So stay tuned for that. And the first 3 of you that put the correct answer into chat will get a $50 Printify sales credit. So pay attention. Okay. All right. So copywriting, the free and powerful way to more sales. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Okay. First of all, today we'll cover, what is copywriting? Why is good copy important? Pointers for writing effective copy and writing copy for your online shop, focusing on 3 specific areas, coming up with the product titles, the descriptions, and then writing an effective About Us page. And we'll go over why all those are important and give you examples throughout. So, what is copywriting and why is good copy important? Well, copy is the conversation that you have with your customers. As I mentioned at the top, this is an impersonal business. You don't get to meet your customers face to face. So the only way they can be inspired to purchase from you is if you move them to that. And how you do that is through your copy. Okay, it's how you convey your brand's value. It's how you convey the messages to your customers so that they ultimately pull the trigger and buy. And that's what it's all about. It's about convincing your customer to buy. It wouldn't make a whole lot of sense just to write beautiful words if none of those drove your customer to the ultimate goal of having them buy something from your shop. So that's what we'll cover today. Okay, it's about making them feel something, about remembering something about what they read, and ultimately responding in the form of buying from you. Okay, so one thing that makes writing copy super important is the fact that it's 100% free. This is a way you can put an investment into your business that won't cost you a dime. It's something anybody can do, and at the end of this presentation, you'll have everything you need to maximize your potential when it comes to writing good copy. Okay, so engaging with your audience is super important. you have to identify with them and ultimately compel them to take action. You write your copy to respond to potential questions that they might have, answering why they should buy, and giving the needs, and ultimately addressing the concerns that they might have. Okay, writing good copy gives you the opportunity to turn your product into a must-buy, because competition in our space is fierce. I mean, you're not the only person out there selling personalized mugs or shower curtains or t-shirts or whatever it might be. So you have to find a way to convince your customers to buy from you rather than somebody else. And if you're not necessarily offering the lowest price, well, you're going to have to convince them that that extra 50 cents or $1 that you're charging is worth it. And how you do that is through the copy. And it's a great way to separate yourself from your competition. Okay, if you have a wonderfully worded, beautifully framed message, then that's going to resonate more so than your competition, and people will buy from you. And it's a great way to yield measurable results. It's a great way to market a campaign or market your store, build your brand, and it won't cost you a dime. And you can actually quantify this, and we'll get into exactly how you do that later on in today's presentation. Okay, so let's get into the pointers so you have everything you need so that you can write effective copy yourself. First of all, and I can't stress this enough, people, you have to know your customer. Ideally, if you are focusing on a particular niche, then that is a niche that you yourself are interested in. So you have an innate knowledge of the customer that you're targeting. Okay, and if not, well, here's an opportunity for you to step into your customer's shoes, think like them, and write copy specifically for them. You got to think about their age group. Let's say if you're targeting millennials, well, you'd want to use language millennials will use. If you're targeting older folk, well, there's going to be a different set of vocabulary you would use to target them versus millennials, so on and so forth. So get in the mindset of your customer and speak to them in the language in which they would understand. Okay, and write naturally. Nobody wants to feel like they're reading something from a robot. It's a way for you to connect with that audience and express your personality. It's a way that you can, as a business owner, put a little bit of yourself out there. And we'll get into that not only with the product descriptions, but mainly with the About Us page that we will cover later on in today's presentation. So just think about how your products represent your audience and tailor your message accordingly. Okay. Now we'll be covering using words like keyword and SEO quite a bit. So I think it's important that before we go any further, we strictly define what that means. Okay, if you look at the bottom of this slide here and read along with me, I want to read word for word the definitions of keyword and search engine optimization because it's important. A keyword is a term used in online marketing to describe a word or group of words a person uses to perform a search in a search engine or search bar. In an SEO strategy, keywords are very important and should be the core of any copy written for the web. Present in the content, the titles, and the SEO elements. Okay, keywords super important, and we'll get to and we'll dive a little bit deeper into that as we go along. So, search engine optimization. I'm going to read again, so please read along with me. Search engine optimization is the process of maximizing the number of visitors to a particular website by ensuring the site appears high on the list of results returned by a search engine. Another completely free way for you to get your search rankings up is to score higher when it comes to search engine optimization. We'll get a little bit into that, and also later on in our webinar series, as we go throughout this quarter, we'll focus more on that a little bit later. So we'll just kind of scratch the surface of it here, but tune in later on and we'll do a deeper dive into that as well. So it's super important that you incorporate keywords into your text so that people searching out your products, or maybe they don't even know yet that they want to buy something from you. If they're using a particular keyword as part of their search, they will be directed to your store and to your particular product, and then be drawn in by your copy and the words that you use. Okay. In terms of keyword research, super important that you do that. There's some tools out there like SEMrush, Keyword Finder, Moz Explorer, and then these are sort of paid services, but all these services have a free trial period. You can make use of that as you're getting yourself set up, or if you want to optimize some things. But Google Trends is another great resource, which is 100% free. It lets you search for keywords and the frequency in which they appear on Google over time. So if you're searching out, let's say you're selling tank tops, and you want to find out when the search where the search frequency for the word tank top appears most, well, just put it into Google Trends. It'll show you that it obviously it's going to spike over the summer, going to spike around mid to late June on into July, and then as the weather gets a little bit cooler, of course, people aren't searching for tank tops anymore. But that's just one example. So please make use of that and incorporate keywords and good keywords into your copy. Okay, and then you'll be able to find out the search volume, how often it's searched for, the difficulty for a particular keyword to rank high, and then also related keywords that you can use so that you can build alongside and optimize your search capabilities. Okay, so and then once you've determined what those keywords are, it's time to put them into practice and use them strategically, and we'll get into a little bit of that as we go along, okay? So what you want to do is focus on the benefits of your product. You want to focus on what your product can do for the customer, how it will affect your customer's life if they decide to purchase your product, what it can ultimately do to help them and make their life better. Okay, so you can start by defining the product's features. Think of the features that would apply to your target audience most and build on that. Okay, list the problems that your product can solve. If you're selling beach towels, well, guess what? You go to the beach and you're wet. Well, this towel can dry you off. Problem solved, etc. You kind of get my drift. Okay, so and then redefine what you come up with at the end and highlight the benefits for your customers. Kind of give them a quick recap of what's going on. And I have two examples for you at the bottom of this slide, one good one and one not so good. So we'll start with the not so good description, where it's here in the black box. Premium printing technique. We use sublimation printing for high fidelity results and vivid colors. Okay, there's some good stuff in there. Paints somewhat of a picture. The vivid colors, high fidelity. Okay, there's some good stuff in there. But if you follow along with what's written in the green box, it's much better. Your designs come alive. Boom, right there at the title. It's painting a picture already. These fabulous shirts are bound to grab compliments. On the way. Great. Right now, you're getting an image of being complimented. Everyone likes getting compliments. Wear your feel-good attire and watch people comment on the stunning colors and deep detail of your print. A much more in-depth picture is being painted, so you can see where we're going along with this. Okay? And it's important to keep your copy simple. Don't overcomplicate things, especially when we're talking about titles and things like that. Keep it short, keep it sweet, directly to the point, and use word economy. That's a phrase I like to use. It's you only use as many words as you have to convey that image or that feeling or that emotion that you're trying to get across. Make sure it's easy to scan. You need to be aware that a lot of people are doing their online shopping on their phone. So just when you put your copy up there, grab your phone, go to your store, and just take a look at how it seems on your phone, and then make any adjustments that are necessary. Okay. And this is a big one, people. Always check your spelling and your grammar. When I see poor grammar and poor spelling on a product description, it jumps off the page, and it's a big red flag. And I know I'm not the only one that thinks of it that way. Okay? It shows a lack of care. It shows that you're just kind of not even really trying. So if you're not trying, why should I buy from you if you're not even really putting in the effort? You see where I'm going with that? So don't drive your customers away. Check your spelling, check your grammar. Okay, and avoid redundancy. There's a few phrases here on this slide I won't go into. As I said at the top, we will be providing these slides for you as a PDF at the end of the presentation. But here again is a great opportunity for you to practice word economy and convey a message using only the necessary amount of words that it takes, and you're not overdoing it. Okay, don't make your customer read too much. Just make them read the right amount. Okay, make every word count. Okay, and then please test your copy. Okay, analyze your copy's performance. If a product is not selling, chances are maybe the product description just isn't optimized, and you can tweak it a little bit. You can switch the style of the copy. You can take a look at your competition, see what they're doing, build on their ideas, make them your own. And then maybe try another psychological angle to write from. Let's say you're targeting surfers and you wrote a copy about how cool it is to be on that wave and feel the splash of the ocean air, but the product is not selling. Well, switch that message and say, well, okay, surfers, what do? Well, they're at the beach all day. So maybe go with that beach angle of the warm sun and the sand beneath your between your toes, that sort of thing. Just attack it from a different angle and think of it from a different perspective. And then you can always try applying keywords that you haven't used before, and maybe that will make all the difference. But it's important that you test it, tweak it, and optimize it over time, and you'll be in a good spot. Okay, and here's another important one, people. It's so important for you not to confuse your customers. Okay, and I like this phrase here, or I like this series of sentences. You can write good copy and get a lot of sales. You can write bad copy and get some sales. But you can write confusing copy and get no sales. No one's going to buy from you if they don't understand what you're selling. Okay, so it's super important. Just be clear. Okay, and just don't be confusing. Please don't. Ask your friend to proofread your descriptions on your store. Get some fresh eyes on it, and people tend to see things that you may have missed. So, but please, above all else, don't confuse your customers. Let them know what they're buying and let them know why they need to buy it. Okay, so let's talk about the titles. Writing good product titles. Okay, product titles by their very nature are short. Okay, you want to convey a good message in a few amount of words. Okay, they're concise, they're informative, and they are specific. Okay, don't use a generic title. Please, people, don't use the titles that we give you along with the products when you first publish them, because that's something that everybody has access to. There's no dynamism to it. Write your own product descriptions and your product and your product titles. Again, you have to stand out from your competition. Why would somebody buy from you when they could buy from somebody else? Give them that reason. Writing good copy gives them that reason. Okay, so here's again two examples: a good one and a not so good one. Okay, instead of writing this one here in the black box, socks with your pets on them, send in your picture and we'll create the socks. Okay, that tells exactly what you're doing: creating personalized socks. Okay. I wouldn't say that's the best use of word economy, but here's a better example to convey that same message, and you can follow along with me here in the green box. Custom pet socks, dog socks for owners, personalized pet print socks. There's a few different keywords in there, okay? And you are driving people that are looking for those keywords right to this product listing, okay? Simultaneously telling them exactly what they can find, what they can purchase, and what you do, okay? So perform a keyword search, make sure it ranks high, pepper those in, use them strategically, and use those phrases that people would write in search engines. And you can practice this at home. Just you go to Google and type in coffee mugs, and then there's that big list of suggestion that comes up. Well, those are ranked by how many times that those next searches come up. So it's rated in popularity, and you can do this on Etsy if you sell on Etsy. Just type in your product description, and then boom, a whole list of suggestions will come up, and you can start incorporating some of those keywords into your titles. Okay, so writing product descriptions, it's much more long form than than writing the titles. But again, you're not trying to write the great American novel here. I mean, you're again trying to convey a specific message using as many correct, rightly specified words as possible, but not going overboard. But you still want to paint a picture. So here's an exercise you can do at home. Okay, and start by answering these 3 questions. What problems are you trying to solve? What problems will your product solve for your customer? What will your customers gain from your product? And what makes your product stand out from amongst the competition? Answer those 3 questions and write your description accordingly. Okay? Okay. And again, step into the shoes of your customers. Think like your customer. What words would they use? What words would they definitely not use? Okay. Do they appreciate humor? What kind of humor would they use? I mean, you would use a one brand of humor if you're targeting grandmothers on Etsy that like floral print tapestries than you would if you were targeting volleyball enthusiasts or soccer fanatics or whatever it might be. Okay. So just be cognizant of that. Be aware of that and write your descriptions accordingly. There's nothing wrong with using a little bit of humor. Okay. And then what questions would they ask about your product? And then be proactive and write your descriptions to already answer those so that they know by the time they've spent those few seconds reading your description, they understand what it is you're trying to sell and why and how it would benefit them. Okay. And again, focus on benefits rather than the features. The benefits will help them imagine how their life would be different if they bought your product. Okay, and again, here we have 2 examples, and I think using desk lamps as an example. Okay, first example: versatile lamp. Okay, good. This wood lamp can be used in various ways. Fits great on a desktop or bedside table. Okay, not bad. It has adjustable settings. Good. Adjustable settings are good, right? Great for working, reading, or hanging out. Okay, great. No problem. I get an idea of how I can use this lamp and a general sense of why I should incorporate it into my life. Okay, but here's an even better description. Okay, decorate, read, chill out. Okay, boom. I've used 4 words to describe exactly how this can make me feel and the benefits of it right from the get-go. Okay, this wood lamp comes with adjustable lights. Okay, not just adjustable settings, but adjustable lights. Okay, I know I can adjust the lights that are easy on the eyes. Oh, I like when light is easy on the eyes. Whether you want to read in bed, study, or work at your desk, or simply enjoy a relaxing moment in the living room. Great. I've painted this picture of how I can be using this lamp in multiple spaces. Okay. Our lamp adds just the right amount of perfect ambiance. Wow, that's great. See, both of these descriptions are conveying basically the same message, but one is painting a much more vivid picture. Okay, and that's what you're going to want to strive for when you're doing this for yourself. Okay, be specific. Avoid filler words because when we run out of ideas, we start using some sort of bland phrasing that it can really stand out. Especially if you're really focused on some product descriptions and it's late at night and you're running out of ideas and you're like, oh, I just want to get this finished, and it can really show. So just be aware of that. Avoid using dull, generic phrases like this example here, like exceptional product quality. Yeah, well, no one's going to sell a bad product. No one's going to say that their product doesn't work or it's bad or whatever. So it could drive away potential customers. So be aware of that. Okay, tell a story. Set up a scene for your product. Paint a picture in your customer's mind. I'm going to give you another good example of that right here. Okay. In this case, we're selling water bottles. Big water bottle with 64 ounce capacity. Big. Okay, yeah, 64 ounces, that's big. Made with stainless steel, this water bottle can accommodate 64 ounces of your favorite drink. Great, I have an idea of what I can expect if I buy this water bottle. Great, okay? But take what I said previously about setting up a scene, and I'll give you an example of how that turns out with this water bottle example, okay? Hydrated no matter where your adventure takes you. We all like adventure. We like the possibility of adventure. So already I'm excited because I'm already thinking about the adventure I can have with this water bottle. Okay. Enjoy a robust water bottle that can soldier through any hiking, trekking, or camping hardship. Great. I know I can use it hiking. I know I can use it camping, and I know it's durable. Okay. Thanks to its stainless steel build, and I know why it's durable. Meanwhile, its 64-ounce capacity means that along with the view, you get to enjoy your favorite drink too. So already I'm thinking about the view. I'm on the mountains. I'm at the beach. I'm somewhere soldiering through the forest, and I come upon a beautiful view, and then I associate that with this water bottle. It's like, yeah, I want to do that. I'm going to buy this water bottle. So you can see the difference there. It's setting a scene, painting a picture. Try and do that with your product descriptions. Okay, and add some social proof. I highly advise this. People want to know that they're buying from a reputable person. So one way you can prove that is by putting up customer testimonials. And I highly advise all of you out there to seek them out. Ask your customers for them. One thing, it's going to keep you on your toes so that you're performing everything properly so that you can provide 5-star service. And the more of these customer reviews you can gather, the better off you're going to be. I've seen some merchants that I work with that just have on their storefront just constant scrolling good reviews just on the side of customer X, customer Y. I loved it, and this is why. And sometimes they have a picture of them holding whatever it is that they sold them. But the point is, if you're going to a shop, you can immediately associate somebody already having a good time with buying from this particular store. And that's the kind of association you want to have, okay? Okay, and again, make the description scannable. You need to be, make sure you're using white space properly as well. You don't want to bunch everything together and make it hard to read. So use the proper spacing in there so that it's easy on the eyes, easily scannable, and make sure you're not printing too small because nobody wants to strain to read. And keep in mind, people are going to be looking at your store on their phone too, and that's a much smaller screen. So just make it legible and readable. Try it out yourself. Go to your store on your phone, check it out. Give your ask a friend, a relative, whomever, a coworker, just to put some fresh eyes on your store, be it the mobile version or desktop, so that they can point out some things that you may have missed. But it's important to get some outside feedback on how you're doing. Okay, and measure the performance as well. And there's a few metrics that I want to go over of how you can do that. Of course, the most important is the conversion rate. Conversion rate means what is the percentage of visitors to your store that are actually buying from you. And a good conversion rate is going to be anywhere between 2% and 4%. If you're going beyond 4%, you're doing something really, really right. If you're below 2%, something's wrong, and it could be your copy. So it gives you an opportunity to go back and revisit that. Okay, cart abandonment rate. Industry standard cart abandonment rate is about 69%. So if you are north of that, then something's wrong. And cart abandonment is when someone puts some of your items in your virtual shopping cart and then leaves them there, doesn't buy, and goes on somewhere else. So you're going to want to keep track of that. If you're underperforming, if you're overperforming, that could be because of your copy. And again, adjusting your copy it's only going to take you your time. It's not going to cost you any extra money. Okay. Return rates can be anywhere between 15 and 20%. That is if you facilitate returns. One good thing about working with Printify is that the way we're set up, you don't have to, because if there's any problems or packages get lost or anything like that, we'll just either give you a refund or we'll arrange a free reprint to be sent to your customer. But that's only if you are set up for returns, and that's completely up to you. If you want to deal with that, be my guest. Okay, and then support inquiries. If you find that you are getting the same question over and over and over again about a specific product, well, maybe you can address that in your product description, so that they know exactly, so that you can answer that question before it reaches the point where they're reaching out to you to ask it through your support system. So it's a great way for you to address that, and that's what measuring the performance is all about. And then, of course, organic search rankings. If it's ranking high, if it's ranking low, then you can make your adjustments accordingly. And we had those keyword research tools previously that you can refer to. Okay. So the final section that I want to cover is writing an About Us page. And that is also super important. Just like the reviews, people want to know that there is a real person behind this. They want to feel that they're buying from somebody who cares about their business, and it's not just some fly-by-night operation that if they buy something from them, they don't know if it's going to arrive. That sort of thing. So you have to reassure your customers that you're the person that they need to buy from, not that other guy, not that other girl. That you are worthy of their business, and telling your story through your About Us page is how you do that. So let's go into a little bit of, on how that can be accomplished. Okay, gives your customers an opportunity to peek behind the curtains, so to speak, so that they can see the inner workings as to maybe why you targeted this particular niche and your motivations for wanting to do business in this space. So it's an opportunity to boost your brand personality. Showcase the reason why you got into this, and put your product into the spotlight, like why it is that the product that you are selling or the products that you are offering are worth buying over your competition, and it helps people understand your core values and that sort of thing. Okay, so provide a straightforward mission statement, a summary of your values, why you're doing what you're doing. You can also tell the story of your company, information on how it evolved, how it grew, a description of who you're actually targeting, breakdown of what it is that you're offering, and then here another opportunity to provide social proof. A good example would be someone I work with in the past started a store with his three brothers, and they had a passion for volleyball, and their About Us page told that story about how when they were young, all they wanted to do was play volleyball. They played it competitively. They still play beach volleyball, and they set up this store to target people who also love volleyball, and that they can take their love for volleyball and carry it with them day to day, and show others that they also are volleyball enthusiasts. So it gives you the opportunity to identify with that story. Say, you also love volleyball. It's like, oh, wow, I identify with that story. And that customer that identifies with your message will come back over and over and over again and build a customer for life. And that's really what it's all about, okay? So answer these 4 questions when you're talking about your mission statement as you're crafting your About Us page. What does your company do? How does your company do what it does? Why does your company do what it does? And who are you doing all this for? You answer that, you'll be headed in the right direction. And with this, one thing, keep it updated as well. Let me give you an example of someone that I worked with in the past. They had a good store offering good products at competitive prices, but you go to their About Us page, and I'm reading, okay, keep in mind, I'm reading this in July, and their About Us page is talking about Christmas. And that, if I'm coming to that page out of the blue and trying to decide if I'm going to buy from this person, that shows a lack of effort. That they're letting something as important as their About Us page just kind of linger for months. Like I said, I mean, it's July when I'm reading this. They're talking about Christmas. How many sales did they miss out on from the end of Christmas to the beginning of July just because of that About Us page? And it's not about getting a massive amount of sales, because it's about maximizing each one of these areas so that you can capitalize and get that conversion rate up over 4%, okay? So this slide here is mainly for you folks at home when you download this to have a template to work on for when you're crafting your own About Us page gives you the areas that you want to target and the content in which you want to provide in those particular areas. And I urge you to, if you've already created your About Us page, use this to kind of redefine your message. Or if you haven't crafted it yet, use this as a step-by-step to get out the message that you want to convey. Okay. All right. Well, we are nearly at the end of our presentation, but there's a few things I want you to be able to take away from this presentation. It is that writing effective copy is completely free. Anybody can do it. Use the tips, use the tricks that we talked about here in this webinar, and apply it to your store. Start tomorrow, and it's free, and you can do it. Copy helps you develop long-lasting relationships, like the example I gave about the brothers who had the volleyball store. Well, it gives you the opportunity to identify with those customers that you're trying to target. So when they think of the next time they need a product, they'll go straight to you. Okay, and good copy has the power to boost your sales significantly. Okay, and above all else, please don't be confusing. If your customers have no idea what it is you're trying to sell, nobody's going to buy from you. You're better off writing bad copy. Okay, and your copy is the way that you can make your store stand out from the crowd. Because again, you're not the only person selling what it is you're selling. So why should somebody buy from you when they can get something else over here? And even if you're charging a higher price, it gives you the opportunity to make your case for why they should buy from you versus your competition. Okay, get to know your audience. You're not going to be able to be effective at this if you don't know your target customer, okay? And focus on the benefits of your products. What can these products do to change and make your customer's life better, okay? And keep it simple, and always check your grammar and spelling, okay? Test your copy, make adjustments as necessary. Don't just set it and forget it. You're going to want to go back and revisit it and optimize over time, okay? All right, so we will put this downloadable PDF of the slides into the chat right now. Go ahead and click on that and download. Again, we've covered a lot of information in this webinar, so please feel free to revisit it at printify.com/webinars. And eventually this will live on our YouTube page. You can find it there. Okay, but download the slides, make use of them, optimize your copy. Again, it's 100% free. What's stopping you? It's only going to take a little bit of your time, okay? All right, so I promised you a trivia question, okay? First 3 correct answers that go into chat will win $50 Printify sales credits, okay? So here it is. Earlier, I mentioned the ideal rate for shopping cart abandonment, virtual shopping cart abandonment. I mentioned that earlier. I hope you were paying attention. Put that exact figure into the chat. First 3 correct answers will win $50 Printify sales credits. All right, I hope we have some in there. Great. All right, well, that is it for this webinar. I hope I've made my case as to why you should be focusing your time and effort on optimizing your copy and improving it, okay? So make use of the materials that we have provided. Again, the PDF download is in the chat. So make sure you avail yourself of the slides for today's webinar. And please join us next time for our next Printify webinar that will be coming up very, very shortly. We'll be sending out notices. But again, we'll be focusing our webinars this quarter on providing you helpful tips on how to maximize your profitability using largely free methods. So thank you for joining us. Join us next time, and it was my absolute pleasure. Thank you and goodbye.